The regulatory reality environment has changed a bit over the last few years, and it's gotten to a point where many people in Washington, both in the executive branch and in the legislative branch, feel a desire, need, and want to begin actually regulating or enhancing, I should say, or changing the way that regulation is handled in the United States with cryptocurrencies.
Hello crypto lovers, welcome back to Crypto Studio 247, where we regularly bring you expert views and opinions about the latest cryptocurrency updates. Do yourself a huge favor and watch this video until the end to not miss out on any important information. To learn about all the latest crypto trends. If Crypto Alpha is what you love, please subscribe to our channel and turn on the bell notification.
I'm going to highlight three different things that I think have some degree of influence and viability over the regulatory reality moving forward for our industry. First is HR 7614. This is a bill called the Digital Commodities Exchange Act. The basic idea is to change the way that regulation handles ICOs and change the way that trading of tokens work. But the long and the short is that it provides a lot of necessary clarity, and in many cases, it pushes cryptocurrencies more towards the treatment of being a commodity than a security, from the perspective of long-term ongoing regulation for things that are sufficiently decentralized. It simplifies standards for exchanges, and it provides much needed clarity in a lot of edge cases that could allow us as an industry to move forward. The U.S. Senate has the Lummis-Gillibrand bill, which will be announced and deployed around June 7th, so next month, before consensus. Now, this bill is significantly more comprehensive in scope. It covers many different areas, from taxes to self-regulatory organizations. It has some discussion on commodities and securities and notions like sufficiently decentralized. It's over 140 pages long from drafts that I've seen, and we've known about the existence of this bill in one form or another since last year. However, this is the first time that the bill has received bipartisan traction, and it has a degree of inevitability to spark an interesting debate throughout the Senate. But the lack of clarity and the lack of specificity means that people may be making decisions, often are making decisions, that in hindsight they would not. So the lack of clarity on decentralization is also creating problems of what is a commodity, what is a security, or some other category of asset. So it's my belief that we as an industry need to work with policymakers and figure out how to measure decentralization. There is no notion of a consumer protection or consumer bill of rights with cryptocurrencies at the moment. Cryptocurrencies are in many ways a promissory estoppel. What I mean by this is that if a person is building, for example, on open source software, they have a fundamental belief that the author of that software can't write and wake up tomorrow and decide arbitrarily to retroactively remove that open source nature and then demand a royalty. There is a legislative opportunity to decide on certain consumer protection and government principles, everything from privacy to software quality, and then create incentives for people to move in that particular direction. There is a transnational notion to this marketplace. And we're in a situation where, regardless of what U.S. regulations are and what legislation is passed to create these regulations or encourage them, we have to find a way as a global community to work together. And the things that happen in Dubai, Singapore, Switzerland, and other jurisdictions are just as meaningful, in some cases more so, than the things that happen here in Washington, D.C. We're going to continue engaging with bodies like the DCC, the Blockchain Association, and others, and try to find ways to collaborate and learn from each other. We're going to continue having discussions with lawmakers about policy, and when given drafts of bills, comment on those drafts about where the language can be more effective. In addition to that, it's become clear that the knowledge gap is still quite significant amongst some lawmakers and some policymakers. I'm ultimately long-term optimistic that we can achieve a lot as an industry. especially with legislation like H.R. 7614 and the Lummis Bill, when there isn't in the 19th century and 20th century. And we can't really trust people for indefinite periods of time to aspire to the better angels of their nature when they have financial incentives not to. So these are examples where things will likely happen over the next 6 months to 12 months, if anything will progress. Once again, in the United States, have divided government. And that divided government perhaps is an opportunity for cooperation and compromise, or that divided government could only exacerbate the political divisions that we currently have in the United States. And I think a lot of very well-intended good people do want to see that things move forward, and a lot of good-intended well people do want to see this industry continue to survive. I was surprised by how many allies, adherents, and advocates, even amongst government officials, that I met while I was here in Washington. But proof is in action. It's not in words. We will continue as a community to ever get more decentralized and resilient and diverse. And we as a community will continue to innovate on the social elements of a cryptocurrency. It is a very rare and unique opportunity that each and every one of you is participating in the construction of a digital government as much as you are participating in the construction of a protocol. And everything about how decisions are made, how we change things, is inevitably going to be up for grabs by those who are willing, not those who are privileged, which is a special thing. There's a lot of places we have to go. There's a lot more shoe polish that has to be worn off and a lot more trips to Washington. But if they're as productive as this one that I took, then that's a good thing. That's a good sign. And we have to acknowledge that problems have occurred. When tens of billions of dollars gets lost in a matter of a week, and the people responsible for that will probably still walk away with millions, if not billions of dollars, I think we can all be better. And I sincerely hope that the other leaders in the space show up here and express themselves in productive, positive ways, and are willing to collaborate and cooperate on some basic principles, like the standards of smart contracts, the definitions of things like decentralization, trying to create regulatory frameworks. If any leader of the cryptocurrency space called me tomorrow and said, let's do something together, I'll pick up the phone call and have that conversation. It's for the greater good of this industry as a whole. I hope you do yours as well. I'd like to thank everyone in the Cardano community and everyone in the industry as a whole, especially the ones who are working hard here. I did run into and see people from other blockchains. I did run into see people from other projects, and a lot of them are fighting hard too. So that's encouraging as well. And I think the overwhelming majority of people do want to cooperate. They just have to find better ways of doing so. And I'll always have an open hand and open heart for that.
Thanks for watching. Until next time, smash up the like button, leave a comment below, and we'll see you tomorrow, friends.